All right, Celestial Rising, great afternoon, at grand afternoon, honestly, and divine night to the beautiful entity watching this video. It's your boy, Divine Messenger. It's your Divine Reflection, Divine Messenger, and we are back with another message and understand. Before we even get into this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more divine messages. And of course, stay tuned by sharing, hitting that like button. Make sure you subscribe. I'm gonna keep on saying that because you're still looking at this video right now and you have not yet subscribed. What are you doing with your life? If you enjoy these teachings, if you want to spread divinity to other people and different communities, make sure that, you just get these teachings out into the universe, into the simulation, because we are all here to guide ourselves beyond this dimension. We do not belong here. Now, as you can see right here, we are looking at different celestial beings. And hold on, because I need to get this out of my face. Am I able to? No, that's all right. Wait. Can I do that? Oh, I'm tripping. That was high video panel. All right, forget all that. Okay. So right here we have these different deities right here. So we got Pleiadians, Arcturians, Sirens, Lyrans, Andromedans, Blue Avians. I'm not even gonna go through the whole list, but the thing is, I'm showing you this because as I was watching the Deadpool movie, I understood that for one, this is Charles Xavier's sister in another multiverse. If you have watched the movie, and with these portals right here, these portals are indications in the movie to help us understand how they're able to go through portals and how much, not even how much, but what worth their technology was that they were using. And then in this scene right here, this was towards the end, and for one, this Wolverine it was from a different multiverse as well, and Deadpool went through different portals from the TVA to time variation. I got it on here somewhere, but yeah, time variation. Whatever the A is, but oh, association. This association was the reason why he's able to look at this Wolverine right here at the bar because this is a part of the beginning of the movie and or the documentary basically. And basically these two entities right here are immortal. They cannot die. And you will see in the movie, which is why right here I put this picture because this is when they fell into the void. They fell into the abyss of unconsciousness, basically. And throughout not the whole movie, but half of the movie, they were trying to get out of the situation, which is where the actor that plays Captain America or Johnny Blaze in Fantastic Four, he was in this void right here. And I'm going to spoil the movie, but Wolverine was literally angry or upset with Deadpool because of how they both got into the situation in the first place, which is why they were fighting a lot in this scene. And then they fought a lot in this scene. And of course, too, with this movie, for one, this was one of the greatest conscious projections that theaters have never seen before. Because for one, this movie was basically a mockery and it was a ton of hidden symbolism in front of our faces. For one, the emasculation of this actor right here. So I think his name is Ryan, whatever the case may be. But basically, the things he was doing, things he was saying was just emasculating. And for one, it's a rated R movie, in which I understand. But there are some people who aren't really able to really see why this stuff is going on within the media or on social media. So for them, it was a lot of dick jokes. It was a lot of dick grabbing, ass grabbing. It was just a lot of like, you would say pause to a lot of this shit. But it's just like in their world of celebrities or fraternities, whatever you want to call it, for them to get these positions in life, a lot of them do have to sell their morality. A lot of them do have to become bi-curious, or a lot of them do just end up transitioning their whole, paradigm of what they like to be around. So a lot of them probably were used to being around girls. They may still like girls, but a lot of them rather touch dicks with Wolverine just because that's just what the gatekeepers who are giving them the checks behind closed doors are going to do for them. And this is the time variation association so the building that they're in, basically you can say like this is damn near close to the Vatican, Cabal, Boule Foundation, there's Jesuits, Bilderberg, there's many different associations that you can go into to where, and this device right here he has in his hands, as you can see by my cruiser, he this device right here was how they were able to travel through time or dimensions because they were ripping time in their own enlightenment basically, and people who were over this whole different space were able to look at different screens and different beings in the different screens because they are watching them in the 3D dimension. But once you travel through a portal using this device right here, you are able to be above time in the past, present, and future. And you are able to look at any dimension you want. And then if you had this device right here, you are able to go to any dimension. So that's why in the movie too, in the beginning, Deadpool was using this device right here to find the Wolverine that could help him save his dimension from perishing. Not only that, Wolverine is an anchor being meaning that many are called but few are chosen. Meaning, so as he was in the beginning trying to find Logan in these different scenes, he kept failing numerous times. He was getting killed, he was getting his head smacked in. It was just so much crazy shit. But he ended up finding the worst Wolverine in his universe, according to one of the time rippers that is the boss of this dimension, but he's a puppet master to his higher up. So you can say the Illuminated fraternities, all these different sellouts or these different Nephilim that I listed up earlier, because there's always a boss above another boss. And by him being the worst being, Deadpool was helping Wolverine understand in his universe, you are a hero and his name lives on in that universe, but he was never even in that universe to begin with, which he was, but he wasn't. And so now I wanted to show this right here because this is the boss that is a part of Time Ripper and these TVs, these televisions right here from one telling lies to your vision. As if you watch the movie as well, one of the things that stuck out to Deadpool was Thor was crying as he's seen like there was a reality to where Thor was crying, holding up Deadpool, picking up his head, and Deadpool was making jokes, obviously, and it was pretty funny, but he was making jokes saying, "So am I gonna die? Why is Thor crying?" But throughout the movie, he was hinting at his death, but he was calling himself the Messiah because the anchor beings needed Deadpool and Wolverine to save them, like to save all dimensions from Charles Xavier's sister because she's a psychic. Not only that, she was able to literally be in the minds of people or her victims that she wanted to be in, meaning that she was literally putting her hands in people's eyes. Like you could see her hands inside of a nigga's head in the movie. And this scene right here, Deadpool got these two desert eagles because he sacrificed another Deadpool in a different universe, and they all walked through a portal to end up fighting Wolverine and Deadpool. What's crazy? They was whooping their ass. These two niggas was whooping Deadpool's ass, which is ironic because it is Deadpool. But now the thing is, in these movies, bro, and somebody made a video on Twitter. I saved it as well. I'm gonna show that towards the video, but this couple, they say this movie's a bunch of blasphemy, which is true, but it's like you cannot expect to go to the movie theaters. That's a rated R movie. And then you can't be surprised at what the Deadpool franchise has become from beginning to this point right now, which is true. This is all blasphemy because, for one, they're promoting emasculation, they're promoting homosexual acts, they're promoting rituals, symbolism, murder, stealing, killing. It's crazy. It's really outstanding how they did this, man. And so right back to the Desert Eagles, he got these because the Deadpool looked just like him. He didn't wear the mask because he was too infatuated with his face. So he was a narcissist through his enlightenment, literally. And Deadpool had him by the body. So in the movie, as there were like a bunch of Deadpools walking through a portal trying to kill both of them, he held the body of his other Deadpool and he was using him as a shield to get shot. Once his head got blown off, he put him by this taco stand, this hot dog stand, or whatever. They hid, but him and Wolverine hid behind it. And then he took the Desert Eagles. Not only that, he took his dog from him. And then in this scene right here, this is exactly why there's a picture showing because Deadpool was not investigated, but he was invested into saving his friends because that's all he had back at home. Because and what's crazy, he was wearing a toupee to work. He was working at a car dealership or whatever because he gave up the Deadpool look because he was trying to get into the Avengers and they turned him down. And Wolverine was understanding that, and that's why they were fighting. But they were fighting for no reason because imagine imagine God fighting God. Imagine like so I mean like a bunch of stabbing. They were just bro, they were in it was crazy when they were in the van fighting. This was the most brutal fight ever. Blood everywhere, arms getting cracked, people getting stabbed in the eye, people getting stabbed in the fucking breast. Shit was crazy. And all right, let's get into these beings though. Because like I said, this was the greatest conscious projection. Mind you, there was a bunch of contradictions, but now all these different beings that I have put right here, many people are infatuated with reptilians, Zeta Grays, Anunnaki, Lyrans, Orions, Dracos. but that's really about it. Most people don't really know like the Nubians, Dordans, Tellurians, Nords. There's so many names that people are not able to really comprehend these different enlightenments that these beings are living in. Now, so I'm not going to name them, but of course, if you're taking notes, you can go back and rewind and look through this video if you would like. Now, I put the Archons right here because, excuse me, these are entities that control and influence the material world and human perception. The thing is, too, when it says so material world and human perception, the thing is everything that we see in this reality, and what time is it? It's 4:54 right now. Yeah, 4:54. It's crazy. Put that work in, right? So that's a perception right there that comes from them because time doesn't even exist. My ego believes that it's 4:54 because there's a numerical system in front of me. Excuse me. But in the astral and the ether and the quantum realm and the highest divinity and the highest order and the highest council of higher projections that come from a base of star systems, there's no such thing as time. Meaning that right now in my mind, I am in a quantum realm, I am in an astral realm mentally, but physically I'm in a 3D dimension that I would call hell or heaven, whatever you want to call it, but it's all an experience for a temporary period of time. And these beings are able to recycle our consciousness and throw us right back into this recycling bin and making us reincarnate into the same exact spell we thought we left. But no, if you kill yourself, you will come right back. If you die unconscious, you will come right back. If you do not find out a purpose, if you don't know how to live and find out how to reach the Christ frequency, you will come right back. If you are accepting Satan as your Lord and Savior, you don't understand how to escape that spell of finding God without finding God within yourself, you'll come right back. And these deities will control that. They'll make sure that because we are living in their grid system, we are existing in their toy box, and they are the observers observing toys that were created and experimented by a bunch of Toy Stories, basically. And they're able to control that. Anything that you see in the materialistic world through the media, through movies, through shows, all of that, they are able to control these different beings right here. And the thing is, too, when you're high out of your mind, even when you're sober, you're still high. When you are when you are awakened, when you see through the veil of illusions, understand that a lot of these beings are literally your favorite actors. So the thing is, people feel as if like when it comes to identity, people think that somebody can tell them, oh, they're LeBron, they're Rihanna, they're Drake, they're Kendrick, they're Lil Wayne, this or that, Messi, it doesn't even matter at this point. They can say that they're any type of name and people will believe it. But the thing is, though, that's exactly why the Arkans run this bitch because, for once again, they're able to influence and control the material world and human perception. People feel as if these NBA players or NFL players are real people. Nothing is real in a world full of fictional pixels that are literally clustered up cells combined together, enslaving their own subconscious thoughts. Reptilians, they're able to manipulate and exert control over human affairs and consciousness, literally. Reptilians are the same exact thing. And what's crazy, we are all reptilian. Not only that, we live in a realm that is ran by reptilians because, for one, we were not the first beings here, but we were the first beings here. The thing is, though, we had to have our consciousness stripped away from us and put into vessels to limit the God within us. Because, of course, we have a story as well before we even reach enlightenment. And the thing is, a reptilian wasn't a reptilian before they became reptilian. And the thing, these are fallen angels. And they were sent here for a reason because their purpose was they were trying to live out their purpose through spiritual warfare. And this war has been going on before we even existed, before year one and before BCE and AD, all of that. And everybody that you see is literally reptilian because we live in their mindset. Our mind is molded from their enlightenment. Not only that, the Anunnaki as well. And there are different hybrids as well. So you can be have Anunnaki and have hybrid. So you can be reptilian and the highest order or the highest ether or the highest carbon of God. Zeta gray, dwarf gray aliens, able to influence human experiences and experimentation. That's why they have hospitals, doctors, veterinarians, Grey's Anatomy, basically. And these deities they're able to actually, not even able to, they can do whatever they want, honestly, because the thing is, if you watch Nope, Zeta Grays are the observers. And the thing, that's why they abduct people, because they're abducting people to experiment on their mind to see if they're able to shift their mind into spiritual gifts that are within them. And the thing is, too, a lot of these Zeta Grays are they're just transferring their consciousness into different vessels to procreate and create an army for themselves to make themselves stronger. And a lot of times, so even back in like slavery time periods, like way before, 2000 and all that, when people were really actually enslaved and they forgot about it, a bunch of these Zeta Grays were a part of that, meaning that they were basically shape shifting and they were basically, what's the word I'm looking for? They were manipulating our optical illusion by transferring their consciousness into people with costumes, meaning that they were able to project their thoughts subconsciously into a vessel. They were able to, because they have advanced technology beyond this dimension, because they are in the future coming to the past to live out in the current moment to experiment on how we are evolving as humanoids, if you want to call us that. And because of that, if they want to, they choose to, they're able to snatch bodies and they're able to literally go right into somebody's vessel and they're able to distinguish themselves out of society. People would never know. People would never know that they're a part of your family as well. Draconians, powerful entities with control over planetary and cosmic influences, the same as that demon the reptilians and the Archons are programmed by no, no. Actually, yeah, the Archons are programmed by the Almighty's meditative state of mind, and the Almighty, not the Almighty, but the Archons don't have creativity, which is why they are able to manipulate all these other beings under them. Not even Elohim, because Elohim are above the Archons, but these other deities that work above us in our governments, the Archons are able to program all of them. But these entities are very powerful, and they do have planetary and cosmic influences over all different cosmic beings that we're not even able to see because they have been gifted that gift to have this control over different influential influencers that don't know how to consume their own products of their mind. And by them being so powerful, they're able to be so, and this is where trafficking even comes from too. And just by them being so powerful, they're able to manipulate the mind to the point to where they'll send you to school systems and they'll teach you about a bunch of false history that never happened. But the thing is, though, they were literally fighting themselves to be famous, to be known, to have attention because they don't have that. they don't have that. They don't have that love for themselves. They're really insecure if you really think about it. Because if you're sending us to a Rockefeller school system to have us learn about a curriculum that talks about your history and your descendants, you're narcissistic. And what are we learning about? Because what is your life as a draconian or reptilian as a shapeshifter turning into a pale costume or a white person or a Caucasian? What does that have to do and benefit us for? It doesn't benefit any of us. On top of that, especially as carbonated beings, we don't give a fuck because we are here to find heaven within ourselves, and we are here to grow food, procreate, and live our life and exist in existence, and just go on about our day and go right back home. But they don't want you to have that easy lifestyle, which is why there will be shadow people who are able to be on the service level in the shadows because people are not able to actually pay attention in the shadows. That's why the freaks come out at night. These are entities that observe and interact with human consciousness in distinct ways, meaning that you could be, if you go to a party, for example, go if you want to see the underworld, go to a club, go to a function, go to a mansion party, go to a pool party at night, and you'll be able to see these beings right here. And the thing is, too, these are a bunch of body snatchers. They're basically a bunch of time rippers as well. Because in order for you to actually be a shadow person, like an actual being in the shadows, you have to have spawned from the lowest enlightenment of what dimensions are. And you, excuse me. And the thing is, if you are a shadow person, you are basically you are feeding off. Oh, these are basically energy vampires too. You're feeding off of the vulnerability of people's feelings and their emotions and their frequency in their body. And many people reside at the lower chakra. And because of that, shadow people are aware of this. Because they're aware of that, they're able to manipulate people into thinking a certain way that is not their way of thinking. Which is why if somebody decides to kill somebody or what's the word? I was gonna say psychos or serial killers. There we go. My bad. Serial killers, people who are religious, people who are dictators, false leaders, all these different people right here, they are manipulated because they have been possessed because they have opened up their body to spirits. That's why if you're smoking, you're drinking, you're allowing yourself to be accustomed to having shadow people or shadow beings snatch your consciousness from you. And literally, the movie Get Out, when the neuroscientists went into the main character's body, that's exactly what these beings will do. They will observe all your habits, all your patterns. They will figure out who you are. And then when you least expect it, they will strike you at your lowest moment. And they will interact with your conscious mind and subconscious mind. And they can manipulate your conscious mind to thinking that you are you when you are not you. They have sent you down to the lower level of your subconscious to the point where now you are at war with four minds inside of your body. So not only will you be at war with your consciousness and your subconscious mind and your ego, but they also have an ego and a subconscious and a conscious mind. But they have subconsciously transferred their conscious mind into your body. And then both of these factors with their ego stuck in your mind, they have sent you lower and lower deep down into your body to the point to where you will never be able to come back out. You will never be able to have that soul that's going to speak out to the world asking for help. There is no more soul anymore because the soul just be knocking. It's like it's like somebody behind a window and you walk by the person's house. The person knows that there's trouble in the house. They're yelling, they're screaming at you. The thing is, they're telling you to help them, and you look like, I can't hear you, but there's something going on. People will never even know because this being has possessed you, literally. And they do it every single day, which is why you have to be careful with who you call friends and family. You have to be careful with what you're doing at night and in the daytime. Be careful with who you call a boss. Be careful who you call mom or dad. Be careful who you call a preacher. Doesn't matter. Even be careful with the music you listen to, or and be careful with the movies you watch. Elohim. And the thing is too, these people, these beings, my fault, these beings are able to be in movie theaters as well because a movie theater is a portal into a dimension that you are watching from the future that has already been made in the past, and you watch it currently because you are getting scammed by movies that you are literally living in right now because your life is a movie and you are the main actor and a background full of background characters, two main actors. Elohim, the divine masculine and feminine version of Almighty God's, gender, if you want to call it that. But just this is a faction, though. This is a faction of one species working together to spread the unison of divinity. These are high level spiritual beings or creators with influence over reality, literally. So this is still God. This is the highest version of God. That's why I say Elohim. And what's crazy, you are a part of the Elohim. The thing is, once you use this terminology, that's how you know you're a part of Elohim because this goes beyond just the regular comprehension of what God is because God has no real name. But if you're going to use a title for Almighty God's enlightenment, Yahuwah, Yahshua, Yeshua, it doesn't even matter. You can say Elohim, you can say divine creator, Almighty God, but you're giving respect to the highest order. But calling God, God is just a mockery because for one, Satan calls itself that as well, literally. And once we understand that, the archons they look up to the Elohim, and the Elohim were able to program the archons as well. But as above, so below, as within, so without, good and day. I mean, night and day, good and bad, all these different things right here. And the archons basically like they're a mockery. I was trying to figure out this shit right here, my bad. But so yeah, and then with the archons, when I say they look up to them too, this is basically like Satan. So because the archons are of a satanic frequency, they still look up to the Almighty Creator, and they are given orders from a puppet known as God, because God is a puppet to its conscious self. Elementals, these are beings associated with natural elements and are able to impact the physical world and human experience. So yeah, that means like water, earth, air, fire. So water, earth, air, and fire, and then spirit. So the pinnacle. So for example, if you light a candle in your room you got a match, boom, put the fire up there. If you're playing with fire, you're playing with yourself. And when I say you're playing with yourself, you are the element of fire, which is why a lot of people are fire signs. A lot of people get fired up. They get amped up when the day gets started, or when they go to bed, or before they do any activity. They gotta get amped up. They gotta light a fire under their subconscious mind, under their feelings that they're feeling, and they get going. Water, whenever you get into the shower and you just sit there in the shower or when you wash your face, all you're doing is you're draining off the negative energy that has been projected upon your vessel the whole day, the whole entire day, or even from your thoughts. As you get into the shower, the element of water, which is you are washing yourself away, and you're washing yourself, observe yourself down the drain, going into a different enlightenment somewhere else into the universe or in a holographic simulation. Because of that, you have now became one with yourself through water, and you are letting yourself flow, letting your thoughts flow as you are watching yourself, you washing your body, taking care of yourself through a hygiene aspect. earth, when you plant your feet into the soil, when you go outside, when you hear the wind, the trees, when you observe yourself, sun gazing, when you are sunbathing, when you're meditating outside, when you're listening to the birds, the bees, the crickets, excuse me, frogs, all of that. And that is you being one with the earth, you being one in your true nature. Instead of doing things that do not serve you in nature, you are becoming nature within nature. And then air. The air we breathe is toxic. It is toxic. It is poisonous. On top of that, we are aging from the air that we breathe in, and that's our fault because the organs have programmed and sent frequencies for us to consume so that we can age and kill ourselves slowly. Meaning that the death that we have is a slow one because they are they want to kill us inside out and they want us to suffer and be miserable. But that's why you have to just enjoy reality for what it is because it's not real in the first place. But once you do breathing techniques, so for example, my favorite one, you can do 4-7-8. You so you're gonna inhale 4 seconds, you hold your breath for seven, and then once you are about to exhale your breath out of the 7 seconds, boom, the eight. You allow yourself to exhale for 8 seconds, 4-7-8. You're allowing your mind to be calm, allowing your mind to be clear. You are able to be one with the spirit by combining all your elements into your vessel because all the elements are within you. You are the avatar, the last airbender. Inhabitants of the astral plane, entities in the astral realm that influence observe human experiences from other dimensions. These do include elementals, spirit gods, ascended masters, angels, demons, devas, ancient spirits, astral entities, ethereal beings, nature spirits, guardian spirits, shaman spirits, soul groups, interdimensional beings, mythical creatures. Literally, let me go ahead and make some space for that one right there. All right. And the thing is, too, in the astral plane is literally just like how this 3D simulation is, and they have their own plane of existence as well. And in these different astral realms, excuse me, these deities, they have their they have their societies. Well, they have their own I don't say human experience experiments, but for example, if a Zeta Gray was to abduct somebody, they can send them to the astral realm, and this being will not be able to comprehend the environment, the continuum of this, or the time that they are living in because they are so used to the 3D dimension. Their mind is so programmed to the algorithm of the simulation. Their mind will not be able to comprehend the astral plane as they are physically still alive. And the thing is, too, these beings will knock them out, of course. But don't, and the thing is, so for example, the ones that are programmed by the organs are still like angels and demons, divas for sure, ancient spirits, astral entities, or yeah, ethereal nature, they're not above the guardians. They're not above shamans, but different soul groups, some of them, interdimensional beings for sure, mythical creatures as well. Many of them do not have creativity, but for one, ascended masters, spirit guides, they're above these different archonic beings. Like you can't enslave a ascended master because an ascended master is still an archonic being. And yeah, so with the astral plane for these entities, they are able, and the thing is too, before anything happens in the physical plane, these things happen in the astral plane of existence. That's how enlightened they are. And because they are so enlightened, checking the time real quick, because they're so enlightened, they're able to experiment on different experimenters in this existence that we live in. Now, with celestial beings, this is above, 3D plane of existence as well. And there's angels, archangels, and other high dimensional entities able to monitor and guide human evolution. And the thing is, too, these celestial beings are still one, they are puppets to a bunch of puppet masters. And these other high dimensional entities, they're able to monitor and they are also able to guide human evolution, meaning that when you have these thoughts, when you meditate, you can actually channel and communicate with them. Actually, you communicate with them every single day. You see them on the internet every single day as well, which is why the internet was granted. That's the lowest form of high technology. The internet is powerful. The internet can make the internet so deceitful. You can watch a crime scene on the internet. You can watch a movie on the internet. You can see porn or just degenerate, ignorant shit on the internet. You can see an illusion on the internet and you still can't comprehend it. People can see a shapeshifter shapeshifting on their TV screen or on YouTube or on Twitter or Facebook, and they will think that it's a glitch in their phone or a glitch in this video that they're watching. This shit crazy because they're able to manipulate the optical illusion that we actually see through our optical observation. Okay, now time variance authority. This is for Deadpool as well. Now, The temporal disruptor, a time ripper is an entity or a force capable of disrupting the natural flow of time. This means they are altering past events, influencing the present, and shaping future outcomes. And this concept resonates with an ideology about parallel universes, alternate realities, and timelines. Literally. And in the movie, you'll be able to see that Charles Xavier's sister in a different universe. She was literally doing this. So towards the ending, she was like, she had antimatter and matter in her left hand or right hand. Either way it goes, she was literally pulling simulations into she was consuming them. She was trying to get herself stronger. And there was a meter on one of the screens too in the TVA, and it was up to 99. It was going all the way to zero. Once it got to zero, she was going to consume different dimensions that were going to make her as powerful as God. She was literally going to play God in the movie. And they were telling us that she basically was going she wanted to have the power to consume past, present, and future currently. So she would be looking at timelines just like this, and she was basically trying to bend it at her will to the point to where she can enslave humanity at any given time. All right. Karmic influencer. In spiritual perspectives, time and karma are intertwined. A time ripper is considered a being or energy that can manipulate karmic timelines, accelerating or decelerating karmic consequences, and provides opportunities for an acceleration of spiritual growth or learning. Literally. And the thing is, too, the time rippers, because we do have a lot of them, and that's why I'm showing you these deities right here, because they are able to play with time, because they are time to them is just like that. That's child's play. That's child's play. That's why they made certain for a reason. That's exactly why they are at the left hand or the right hand of the Almighty, because they can go through dimensions whenever they want. They can enter your mind whenever they want because they're in your mind right now. And the thing is to they're when they manipulate karmic timelines. So for Wolverine, for example, he was going through his karma. That's exactly why Deadpool was able to pick him, because he had to figure out what his karma was as an anchor being. And because of that, he was when Charles Xavier's sister was in his mind towards the end of the movie, she was showing him like all the things that he was regretting. And that's exactly how he was able to have an opportunity to spiritually grow and learn about her powers. And he also manipulated her to get her into his mind to defeat her. So like he used her powers against her. She didn't even know it. But that's how she was able to be a karmic influencer, because she influenced Wolverine to even find out who he was by helping him grow subconsciously. Healer and transformer of consciousness. Time rippers can be healers as well as spiritual practitioners that help programs break free from past traumas or negative patterns, effectively ripping through the threads of time that send a person to their past, allowing for them to have a personal transformation and healing. Literally. And let me see, that was a great word I put. Okay, yeah, ripping through threads of time that send a person to their past. Okay. And when they send you to your past, for when it's all in your mind, and this is exactly why when you do shadow work, this is what time rippers do. As you sit in solitude, as you sit in peace, they're going to show you that once you sit with yourself and once you cut out all the outside noise, like once you cut out the video games, the music, the TV, phone calls, texting, just social media, all of that, you actually can go into the past and you can heal your inner child. And then once you do that, you're able to transform and heal yourself from what you thought this reality was. Guardian of time. Time Reapers are guardians and overseers of temporal dimensions, ensuring the balance and integrity of time across different realms and realities. This being intervenes to prevent disruptions or correct anomalies. Literally, so Guardians of the Galaxy, we are all guardians of our own galaxy. Because of that, they're able to they can pick and choose what equilibrium we can live in or exist in. And because of that, we got to understand too that Earth is just not one dimension that we live in. There is a multiplying, and it's continuous too. It's billions of different Earths that are literally existing at the current moment right now. They are literally all right next to each other, different dimensions that you can walk into. So if you had a device from the movie, in this movie, if you had a device and you were able to open up a portal and you rip the time, you would basically be the guardian of time, and you'll be walking through portals and you'll be able to observe people living their life, and you can govern over them if you choose to. And this is exactly why you are overseer, because now you are finding the balance and integrity within these different realities. And by doing that, that's exactly why Deadpool is basically correcting the anomaly and the disruption of what Wolverine was living in. And he basically saved Wolverine by being a healer, and he had a mystical experience because he was calling himself the Messiah, but he's not wrong for saying that. Experiencing a time river can be mystical or cause someone to have transcendent experiences where an individual perceives time in a nonlinear fashion. They will begin to gain insights and enlightenment that transcends ordinary understanding that humans couldn't understand, which is exactly why these are basically mutants. This whole movie described the mystical experience of being a mutant. And once you work for the higher councils of hierarchies, there is no such thing as human comprehension because even a human couldn't comprehend itself. But once you become to understand that you are a mutant pretending to be God, then you'll be able to understand that you can have a transcending experience. And the thing is, in this whole movie, one of the things that, where's she at? One of the things that she did too, when she would, get into people's minds, the one thing that she did, she would touch, like, she, one of the scenes, she touched the third eye, and when she did that, she was literally walking into people's enlightenment and she was just watching it and observing it. And she would manipulate it and she was seeing their thoughts, seeing all their current moments, their future, their past. And the thing is, they couldn't do nothing about it. That's what made it even worse. She put herself in their mind and all they could do was sit there and allow it. Spiritual hierarchy and wisdom for the council called TVA. Advanced beings, the beings that make up the galactic councils. And the thing is, we got, because this is 37 minutes, I ain't gonna lie, but shoot, because honestly, yeah, I just want to go ahead and fly through this real quick, truth be told. But because two, honestly, if you're taking notes, you're good to go. At least you're learning more than 1% of the population. Actually, not 1%. You're learning more than 98% of the population because majority of people cannot comprehend this shit. The beings that make up the Galactic Council of Sirius are of a higher spiritual and technological evolution. They are known as ascended masters, enlightened extraterrestrials, or celestial beings who possess divine wisdom and understanding of the universe. Now, the thing is, we are all advanced beings. Because of that, you are technologically evolving every single day. And the thing is, too, you are evolving in a technological age, which is exactly why they came in with social media at an all-time high, because it comes from enlightened terrestrial beings and that possess divine wisdom. And if you are spreading divinity on the internet, you are advanced as a being because you don't talk about things that don't matter. Guardians of knowledge. These councils are believed to be guardians of ancient wisdom and cosmic knowledge, and they hold secrets of the universe, the laws of creation, and the paths beyond human enlightenment. Their teachings are accessible through deep meditation, channeling, or spiritual practices. Yeah, so basically we say that earlier as well. That if you go within your mind, if you meditate, if you do the 478 breathing, you can do 777, 999, 333. It doesn't matter how you breathe. Once you are meditating, you can channel them. And the thing is, too, they will not communicate with you through English, but they will use telekinesis because they are always there. They're always watching you. Basically, if you sit in a room and you just listen to the sound of a fan or just your thoughts, you are able to actually hear them speaking to you through your mind, meaning that they are all in your room right now watching you, observing you, and they are basically watching themselves through you because they're looking into the past while being in her future, and they're literally so technologically advanced that they have technology to where we can't even see them because our mind, our body cannot comprehend how advanced they are. They're so advanced. They walk with us and they breathe with us and they exist with us and they cry with us, they laugh with us, and we don't even see them coming. Roles and responsibilities, guidance and oversight. The Galactic Councils of Sirius. Oh yeah, this is basically the Galactic Federation, the Galactic Councils of higher deities. So that's the time variance authority as well, if you're keeping up. Yeah. Excuse me. They are gods of spiritual evolution for hold on. All right. For a variety of civilizations, including humanity, they bring insight, support, and guidance to help beings on their path to enlightenment and higher consciousness. So, excuse me, excuse me. Guardian angels, they have a divine over, because so it's like we all come from a Sirius star system, meaning that if you are paying attention to your life, you are observing your mind, you're observing your subconscious mind from the Sirius star system, meaning that you are projecting you're projecting an experience and you descended from that experience, from a conscious experience too. You descended from your ascension to figure out what your role and responsibility was as a human being, pretending to be human. And the thing is, you have the oversight once you become an overseer, once you unlock all your clear intuitions, you'll be able to guide yourself through guidance because you are sitting with ascended masters in your mind. And in the Sirius star system, it's like a whole council of different entities that you exist in. And what's crazy, I gave you damn near not even all of them. That's the crazy part. I gave you majority of what these beings are. So all these beings right here, they sit with us in the Sirius star system. They are watching us watch ourselves. Healing and balance. These councils are known as healers and harmonizers of energy. They work constantly to maintain balance and harmony in our universe, assisting in the healing of holographic planes through the minds of individuals by transmitting high frequency energies and knowledge. And the thing is, too, with healing and balance, once you heal yourself, you'll be able to not only figure out duality, but you'll be able to balance the minds of demonic programs. And once you're doing that, you'll be able to heal yourself as a demonic program. You'll be able to heal yourself to find an angelic frequency. And once you do that, you'll be able to harmonize and you'll be able to harvest energy, but not in a bad way, but you'll be harvesting it, manipulating it, healing it, nurturing it, giving love to it, and being considerate of its past. And once you do that, you'll be able to change it from becoming an anti-frequency, turning it into a being that matters through love. All right, connection to planet Kai or Earth to simulation or school. Spiritual messengers, including you and I, they are teachers on Earth or in hell, and they are connected to the Galactic Council for Sirius. These people or mutants may receive guidance and teachings from the council to help elevate human consciousness and promote guidance towards having a spiritual awakening, which is basically what I'm doing right now for you as well. And that's why I call myself divine messenger, because I am not from this dimension, meaning that I have no identity and I do not have and what's crazy, I'm lying to my ego, but my ego will be telling you that for a reason. That's why I tell you, contradict everything, question everything. Meaning that I am an experimenter, experimenting on my subconscious mind, seeing how I'm going to live through a temporary observation. But I'm here to also have fun. But while I am having fun, I still have work to do because for one, this is not our dimension. We do not belong here. All right. Cultural influence, no matter the shade of holographic meat suits. Ancient civilizations like the Egyptians were believed to have had connections with the beings of Sirius because they are them. The star system is connected with the god Osiris and the goddess Isis, and their mythological perspective was meant to encode advanced spiritual knowledge that imparted and descended by Syrian beings. Now, the path to enlightenment, interstellar brotherhood and sisterhood. The concept of the Galactic Council sparks the idea of an interstellar networking committee and unity among different star systems. So, this is basically Elohim right here. Star systems. This perspective gives an understanding that all beings are interconnected and that their spiritual growth on any planet does contribute to the overall ascension of the cosmos, but it's mentally spiritual. And let me hold on. I do want to go back to this right here because different fallen angels were able to, so Atlanteans, for example, Atlanteans were able to come from a lower enlightenment below the portal of the ocean because the ocean is a portal, literally. And they were able to influence carbonated beings. So as Egyptians, before there was even pale people or Caucasians in the Caucasoid Mountains in Europe and all that shit, these deities were literally Egyptians. And the thing is too, we are literally holographic simulators, and we are an ancient civilization. So we are all the Egyptians still. The Egyptian time period never went anywhere because if you understand time in your mind, you still exist in this time period. So we are still enslaved in the Egyptian time period in Atlantis, in the cloud cities, ethereal cities. It doesn't even matter. Once you go through transcendence, you are always going to be enslaved. But what is enslavement to a slave that doesn't know it's a slave? Because are you really a slave, or does your ego think that it's still enslaved to itself? Okay, but yes, so once we connect together, this is basically Neo and Trinity. That's how you get the Holy Trinity, because once you find a divine feminine version of yourself, masculine, or through your masculine perception, and you guys combine together, basically in this plane of existence, you'll be able to spiritually grow and contribute to overall ascension of the cosmos, but it's mentally spiritual. And once you do that, you'll be able to be interconnected with your child, meaning that the father can be Lucifer, but that would still be the higher consciousness of Christ. The mother would be Satan, and the offspring would be Jesus. And as you combine those together in the physical simulation in the 3D dimension, spiritually, that's how you get the holy side of the Almighty, because you operate out of love. You don't operate off of hatred. Ascension and Awakening, the teachings from the Galactic Confederation or councils of Sirius star systems, they often focus on the processes of ascension and spiritual awakening. They emphasize the importance of raising one's vibrational frequency, expanding consciousness, and aligning with the universal laws of love, compassion, and unity. Meaning that Elohim basically teaches you how to be unison within yourself. If you study the 12 laws of the universe, law of oneness, and this basically shows that through all the universal laws, you have to become one. Once you expand your consciousness, you will know that it is foolish to even try to be wise. So once you operate out of love, nothing else matters but just love. Love and being authentic will transcend everything else, and it will transcend ignorance as well. And once you are compassionate for other people's judgmental, subconscious thoughts that don't exist, you'll be able to unify yourself with their frequency because you operate out of love. And then once you do that, you'll be able to align with their enlightenment, and they'll be able to understand who they are through you. Spiritual practices, meditation and channeling. So to connect with these different galactic beings, which is yourself, you have to engage in meditation, channeling, solitude, depth, research, affirmations, truth telling, practice daily fasting, sacrificing. But was a sacrifice to a sacrificial lamb? I'm gonna say it one more time. What is a sacrifice to a sacrificial lamb? Astral projection, lucid dreaming, listen to frequencies, other spiritual practices. These practices are aimed for raising one's consciousness to a level where communication and guidance from higher dimensional beings become possible. When we gotta go into that because that's self-explanatory right there. Now, if you tap into meditation, you will communicate with them. We talked about that earlier. Energy work, practices like Reiki. So Yeshua and Jesus were teaching people that too. Crystal healing, other forms of energy work are going to help attune someone to the frequencies of the Syrian councils, facilitating healing and spiritual growth within. Once you are able to manipulate energy for your own liking and you're able to move it around your body, so it's like yoga, once you're able to do tantric practices, yeah, and alchemy, once you learn alchemy and mysticism, you are able to wield energy in your body. And if you're doing semen retention as well, semen retention is basically energy work as well because you're not ejaculating, you're not having sex, you're not falsely procreating with yourself through someone else. You are saving that energy and you're using the creativity to flow into your mind. Enlightenment perspective to see your projection in them. From the perspective of enlightenment, the Galactic Council of Sirius represents a source of higher wisdom and guidance that can assist humanity in its spiritual evolution. Connecting with them is a way to access deeper truths about the nature of existence, the interconnectedness of all life, and the pathways to achieving higher states of consciousness and enlightenment, literally and figuratively. Once you get tapped in to the Guardians of the Galaxy, you'll be able to obtain. So your Akashic records come from them because you're projected from an ascension of different masters, watching yourself master subconscious mastery, basically. Okay. Now, I put this here too because, for one, a lot of people in these industries are pedos, even in streaming, the streaming atmosphere, social media, movies. They're a bunch of pedos, and I put this here because they like to push this agenda and by using celebrities as well or leaders, they'll push this and they'll hide in these communities. Not only that, there's some regular people who are pedos and they will hide in these communities because they still want to touch on kids because the whole this not this whole dimension, but these satanic frequencies or these Luciferian agendas, these beings, they know that to getting to the children is how you are able to have adults reincarnate. How pedos prey on children while hiding behind the identity of the LGBTQ community to be accepted into their true agenda through victimization that most don't know about. Predators gaining trust. And another thing is too, a lot of men that are emasculated, that were assaulted. For one, they are projecting the complexity of their mind and they unconsciously don't know how to heal themselves. And they use this victimization to harvest energy and to siphon it. And they're doing that because they're projecting what an assaulter did upon their ego, and their ego does not know how to heal itself. And this person is dominated by their ego. That's exactly why they transition their gender and they get offended by identities. And then they go into society and they start going around kids because that's the closest way that they can feel loved on. And by them feeling loved on, if you have them gaining your trust, like you have trust in this person, they're able to build trust within the community to gain access to children. And they'll present themselves as trustworthy and involved members, like volunteers or leaders. And they do this to establish credibility and create opportunities for abuse when people least expect it. That's why you have to be able to, if you are a parent watching this video, if you are if you are a young man, young woman watching this video, you cannot trust everybody because everybody's not a real person. That's exactly why I make the videos I make, because you cannot put trust in, even into yourself, because your mind will lie to you. Your family will lie to you. Your coworkers, your friends, they will lie to you. Not saying everybody will do that, but the moment you become vulnerable and you put your trust into the opposition, you're done because they're gonna bite the hand that feeds them. Not only that, if you're putting your trust into celebrities or different politicians or presidents, you are allowing a bunch of predators to govern your mind. Grooming. Predators will use grooming techniques to manipulate and control their victims. This includes giving gifts, offering special attention, abuse, manipulation, words, programming, and creating a sense of dependency. Grooming can occur in any community setting where children are present. And grooming can happen in school, it can happen in church, it can happen on social, it happens on social media every single day. It happens at parties, it happens behind closed doors. Grooming happens when you're about to sign a $10 million contract. They do this shit because they feel as if, for one, it's a trade for a trade, an eye for an eye. If I give you something, you give me something. And the thing is, too, they manipulate people to actually thinking that you have to do this shit to have the life that you want, but you don't need to have the life that you think you need for attention. You do not have to transition your gender to mock women or to mock men to be somebody that you're not, because you're not even being true to yourself. And then when somebody corrects you, you get mad. But the thing is, your ego has been groomed by somebody who was also groomed in their past life. So when people are telling you about yourself, you cannot play the victim about what you think you are not, because if you are identifying as something, you are ignorant, because the Almighty has no identity. Identities are social constructs. You think you're a male, you think you're a woman, you think you're gay, you think you're straight. What is gay or straight to the Almighty? What is gay or straight to infinity? What is height to infinity? How are you a giant when you're still, when you have no height? First of all, you're not even small, you're not tall, you're not even medium size. What is fat and what is skinny? What are muscles? What are abs? What are feet? What are eyes? What is mouth? What are words? We have all been groomed. So our mind is literally raped by subconscious vessels. Exploiting vulnerability. Predators target vulnerable children who can be seeking acceptance, support, or validation that they don't get at home or anywhere else. This happens in environments where children feel marginalized or misunderstood. Literally, and that's why they're coming after the children. That's exactly why they will push emasculation agenda. So if a kid went to go see this Deadpool movie, vulnerability, they want you, they want you to accept and support what they're doing, because you're gonna see it as normal. Like, oh, this person did in the movie theater. Oh, yeah, this person got their dick and balls in their butt touched on 5 times in this one scene. So I accept that. I guess it feels normal to touch on other boys. And then the thing is too, if a man becomes a woman and you misidentify them, society will care that you called this woman a man when society sees her as a when society sees her as a woman. So because of that, that's why people will accept pedophilia. Because do not call this woman a man, because you are being disrespectful. But it's like, you were born a man, fam. And I'm not being disrespectful, by the way, either, but it's like, let's use common sense. Like, I understand we don't want to, like, we're so soft. People don't want to hurt people's feelings, but truth has no limitations. Then the truth has no feelings. If you are born a man, you're a fucking man. Doesn't matter if you transition to a woman, you are still a man. And if you are a woman thinking that you are a man, you are still a woman. You were born a woman. You have a vagina, you have a dick. It doesn't matter if you cut it off or if you invert it. You are still what you are. So you can act like you have a period as a man, but you will never be a woman. Stop trying to make your life easier by transitioning your gender. You will still have a shitty ass life no matter what, because life is shit. Creating isolated situations. Predators will create situations where they want to be alone with a child, using spells like offering rides, private tutoring, one-on-one mentoring, church, school, internet, cults, parties, mansion parties, business meetings, and trafficking. Meaning that you have to be careful as well. And the thing is, too, these celebrities, they are in these occultic rings and sex trafficking rings and blood sacrificial rings, all of that. And the thing is, too, you can find a bunch of isolated kids here and a bunch of predators. And the thing is, too, we watch these predators on the big screen and we go and pay for them, or we watch these predators on in the NBA, the NFL, and music videos, social media. We had to coexist with these motherfuckers. And the thing is too, they want to be alone with your child. They want to groom your child because they have been groomed as a child. Save our children. Using authority, predators will exploit their position of authority within the community to intimidate or coerce their victims, making it difficult for children to report abuse. And the thing is too, a lot of these child stars, they are a part of this shit too. And the thing is too, the people that have authority over them, they will intimidate them and they will send threats their way. Because if a child tries to tell their mom or their dad about the abuse that they are going through, a lot of times too, the parents will use their authority to say, like, man, you better toughen up, man, because we rich forever and you gonna keep on getting fucked to pay these goddamn bills. I don't care if you're 5 years old complaining about getting touched on. Some parents are like that. And then when the kids evolve into becoming adults around like 30 or in their late 20s, they'll realize their parents fucked them up for some bread and they were sacrificing to the industry to become famous. Manipulating social dynamics. Predators will manipulate social dynamics to isolate their victims, making them feel as if they have no one to turn to and have them feel bad they do. This includes spreading rumors, mixing lies and truths, or creating division to control the narrative. Literally. And the thing is, too, that's exactly what a bunch of people who are groomed, that's what they will do. They will contradict themselves. And they're doing that to create a vision within their own mind. And that's exactly why this community was created. And the thing is too, there's nothing wrong with being lesbian, gay, bi, trans, or queer, whatever the case may be. But it's bad if you know that you're a demonic program and you're hiding in this community to shit on the people who really just love the same sex. There are some people who are like they made that to cause division. So if you're straight or if you go against them, you get canceled. And they made sure to cancel people just like that. Especially if you speak the truth, they will end your whole career. That's how soft the world is. Leveraging technology, online platforms and social media are used by predators to connect with children under the guise of shared interests or identities. They use fake profiles or deceptive information to build trust. They even masquerade as someone you idolize or call family. They are not real people, but viruses. Literally. And the thing is, to the people who are pretending to be lesbian, gay, or trans to be close to children, you are not a real person. You are just a virus and you are masquerading yourself as a costume character. So you can be black, white, Asian, Palestinian, Afghanistanian, doesn't even matter. You are, you know what you're doing and you're sick and deceitful. And the thing is, to the people in these communities, even in Christianity, even if you're just straight, they can be a part of that community as well. And they will still manipulate you because they have the technology to manipulate your identifier or your identification and your identifier. Capitalizing on events. Predators do take advantage of community events like gatherings, underground or under the radar parties, or secret support groups to find potential victims. They blend in with the community to avoid suspicion, and people will never know. Exploiting, and we're almost done too. Exploiting lack of awareness. Predators exploit environments where there is a lack of awareness or education about abuse prevention. Communities without proper safeguarding measures are more vulnerable. False allyship. Predators will falsely present themselves as allies and advocates for LGBTQ rights to gain access and trust within the community. Yeah, within the community. Damn, man. So what happens when you're just not waking up? All right. Men aren't going to be men anymore, and this is true. Media representation. Celebrities and media will promote daily unrealistic standards of masculinity, leading some men to feel inadequate if they don't conform to what society deems as normal. And the thing is, too, it's going to be normal to wear booty shorts as a man. It's going to be normal to wear a crop top as a man. It's going to be normal to touch on kids. It's going to actually, it's not even going to, it is normal to touch on kids. Literally, motherfuckers are doing that shit right now, and we praise them and we vote for them. Can't make it up. It's going to be normal to kiss on kids. It's going to be normal to emasculate people in the theaters. It's going to be normal to be emasculated on the big screen shows, games. These things are going to be normal to the point where a child is going to question what is normal. And then when a child wants to become straight, a lot of people are going to bash them for being straight. Why aren't you gay like us? You're weird. You like girls as a boy? You're weird. It'll literally make a man question who they are as a boy. Not knowing this is boys to men. Workplace dynamics. Bosses who undermine or belittle male employees can erode their confidence and sense of competence. And a lot of times, too, if a man is not secure within himself, the boss in his job will send his ego into the abyss to the point to where you will not have confidence in your workplace anymore because your boss is above you and you're not able to coexist with that. A lot of times too, employees will allow this shit. Like the boss will tell them things or do certain things or throw things at them. And the employee will not be able to see this shit because they have no confidence in themselves no more because their boss took that from them and has emasculated them. On top of that, if you want this job, you're gonna let me do what I want to do, or else you're fired. Family roles, family members, including partners. Oh, and on top of that, I know what you did last summer or last Friday. A lot of people are blackmailed. So if you try to speak out against your boss, they could send it on the internet. They can send that to higher ups. They can send that to different corporate businesses to the point to where you will never have a job again. Be careful what you walk into. Family members, including partners or parents, siblings, and cousins who consistently criticize or control men can diminish their sense of self and self worth. And the thing is too, and this is where a lot of the evil is happening. It's in the families too. When somebody gets violated or assaulted by like cousins, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, shit, randoms, doesn't even matter. People will come to their families, especially in the black community. People will come into their families. They will tell them what happened. And the thing is too, most families are not trying to hear that. Why? Because they know what you're talking about. They know what you're saying. They know who this person is, but they don't want to get them in trouble because it's family, it's love. Like don't they're not right in the head. But so that's accepted because your uncle's not right in the head. It's accepted that he touched on your daughter or your son. Because your cousin's not right in the head, it's okay for your son to violate all seven of his cousins. Come on, man. And then the thing is too, when people ask, well, why isn't our cousin come around no more? Why isn't our brother come around no more? Because when he was a child, he was trying to tell you that one of his family members or this random violated him or assaulted him, and you just pushed him away, you pushed him to the side, and you didn't guide them into self-worth and you just ignored them and themselves and you let them ignore themselves as well. And then you would criticize or you would demean or diminish their ego because their ego is telling you what happened to them. But you say, I ain't trying to hear that shit. We all got problems. Stop complaining. You'll get over it. I'll get over it. All right. And then this child will grow up and they'll resent and they'll hate you for not listening to their feelings. And to where they will want attention so bad, they will transition into a different gender to where now you have to pay attention to them. Social expectations, societal pressure to behave in certain acceptable ways can force men to suppress their natural traits, leading to a feeling of emasculation. Which is why gender roles is the most stupid shit on the dimension in this dimension. Because why are you arguing against a woman and why are you arguing against a man when we're supposed to be coming together to build the holy trinity from for futures to come? I was trying to figure out a lineage word to put within that, but for futures to come, we're supposed to come together. And the thing is, too, a lot of young men who are growing up, even a lot of older men who are older than me, they are accepting. And that's the thing, too. This movie basically said that you should accept being touched on. You should accept being emasculated. You should expect somebody touching your ass. You should expect a man looking at your body and sexualizing you. And that's the thing too. And this will cause a lot of men to literally suppress how masculine they are to where and the thing is too, we are for one, there are no genders to the Almighty. We're all men and women combined together. You have to have a balance of both. But these movies, these shows, these actors, all these different celebrities, they will force themselves and their agenda to have you suppress your masculinity to the points where all you have to surface to show for to women is their projection, their feminine traits. And then women are going to become masculine because they are hustlers getting what they got to get to feed their family. That's why gender roles have switched. These new niggas out here, don't trust them over there because they are the new women. These women out here are the new men. They gonna get it by any means. A lot of times too, these niggas are. What's crazy? As a man, we are naturally submissive as well because, of course, when you were born, somebody obviously nurtured you. You had to get breastfed. Somebody took care of you, gave you baths. Somebody changed your diaper, burped you. You are born submissive, so you had to go your whole life figuring out what it means to be a man. But what is a man to a man? Public figures influence. And what's crazy, you're half man, half amazing. Celebrities and public figures who mock traditional masculinity can influence societal attitudes, making men feel their inherent qualities are undervalued, and they try proving themselves to people who also feel undervalued. Literally, and that's why they put these celebrities in position because don't forget these beings for one. So that's why they do orgy. If you watch Inside Job, the reptilians when they were underground in Yale, towards the ending, and actually towards that whole episode, they were showing they were having orgies. And the thing is too, that's exactly what they do because they know like that's normalized in their society because all they want is just sex and they're never trying to procreate. They just want to do it because it's fun to them. And they just get off by doing that. And they're just having enlightened, they're off drugs too, which is crazy. But they would feel as if that they had to prove themselves by being emasculated. If you, the thing is too, the saying that I heard too, I love this saying because it's actually true. They're not more famous than you, they're more gayer than you. And because of that, if you are not willing to bend over backwards to get to become a celebrity or to become an icon like the people that you look up to, they're not going to deem you as valuable because you have no value to them. You're not worth 10 million, 40 million because you're not willing to do shit to bend over backwards to toss your salad, basically. Okay. Now let's go to this trailer right here, because boy,
It's been a challenging few years, for sure.
I don't like how this is lagging. I don't like how this is lagging. I don't like how this is lagging. No, sir. Okay, so actually, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stop this, right? And then we're gonna go to Safari. So as we go to the YouTube, we're gonna get this bad boy. Make sure we're still going on Zoom too. Oh no, okay, we're still good. All right, because we just gonna play this as it is right here. Just want to make sure the camera's still on and all that. All right. My fault. I'm going to skip through that. Okay. Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay. Boom. Yes, sir. Let's get to the money.
I told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere. Now get the fuck out of my bar. Just give me one more drink and then I'll leave.
And this is the Wolverine that is in a different time dimension. He doesn't even know that. Oh, I'm tripping. I am tripping. I'm tripping. Let me go and share the screen real quick. Why are we wilding out like that? I'm over here watching this shit on YouTube. No, 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 brother. No, no, no. Let me share this screen. My fault, y'all. Like, y'all couldn't even see what I'm doing. All right.
Hi,
Now,
Peanut.
this Wolverine right here, he calls him Peanut literally because he felt his nuts before. But this Wolverine right here is in a different dimension, and Deadpool walked into the dimension, and he just settled for the less anchor being of Wolverine.
I'm gonna need you to come with me right now. Look, lady, I'm not interested. All right, well, I'm sort of on the tick, so topsy daisy. Oh, whiskey dick of the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40. You don't want this. Unless you want to take a deep breath through your fucking forehead, I suggest you reconsider.
Now this is the abyss because when they got thrown into time, they got sent down to the void or purgatory. And this part right here,
I'm
that's when
about
they
to
were
lose
fighting.
everything that I've ever cared about.
This is the people. This is the for one. He was doing so much for this stripper right here, and this is why he had to go find Wolverine because if he didn't, his whole existence, his whole friends, his job, it will all perish.
Not my fucking problem. Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
In this scene right here, towards the ending, the Charles Xavier's sister was manipulated by Logan. This is where he spiritually evolved because he was learning about his past. All these tombs are the X-Men that he let down because he walked away from them. That's why he's wearing a suit in this movie. That yellow and blue suit is a memorization of his fallen soldiers or his fallen angels.
This Wolverine let down his entire
That was one of the Time Rippers or the Guardians of Time.
world.
Why did you stab him in the dick? That's basically what we're saying. Why? And the thing is, too, people be like, I mean, it's just a movie, this and that. Like, understandable, but you didn't have to do that. You didn't like out of all places on the body. Why are you in the nuts? And see, why are you laying? You can't make this shit up. And the thing is, too, why are you as Deadpool? Why are you on your back? And why is Wolverine on top of you, on his back, with his butt towards your dick?
Want to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback? Go fuck yourself.
Yep.
I don't know anything about saving worlds, but you do. Trust me, kid, I'm no hero.
And then that scene right there, he was talking to his daughter.
You were an X-Man. You were the X-Man. I am soaking wet right now. This is so silly. That's what I'm talking about. Slow motion action.
And that dog right there, the dog that he, if we go back, hold on. So this dog right here, that belonged to the other Deadpool that had the golden desert eagles, and he wanted his dog the whole entire time.
Slow motion action sequence. Who knows if you live or die? Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
Literally, like this movie is very, this movie is very strange. But so, but that right there was just like the indication of. Hold on, I'm going to share the screen too with the notes. But now that's why I want to show that right there because that's exactly what is normalized. And the thing is too, I just had this article on my screen sharing is paused. All right, hold on. Because it was really, it don't matter. Can I resume it? Okay. But yeah, so if you check this website out, this basically discusses the Time Variance Association or Authority. But throughout this whole movie, man, this movie was it was something. I ain't gonna lie. No, I'm not gonna sit here and say it was not funny. But for one, you can just tell the Emasculation right here because why would you tie these niggas up dick to dick, balls to balls? Come on now. And it's just what's crazy. Logan even references like when he was knocked out or unconscious when they went. And the thing is, so this is when they met Johnny Blaze from Fantastic Four. If you watch the movie, which is Captain America in a different universe, but in this multiverse or this alternate universe, Captain America is Johnny Blaze or the Human Torch. If you kept up with the Fantastic Four movies, but when Deadpool was unconscious, Logan literally referenced like, yeah, he felt you, like he felt him getting hard. Like you can't make this shit up. You can't make it up. But the thing is, though, many people found this shit funny, and the thing is, it's like we get it. You and the thing is too, you can like what you like, and we understand like whatever he did because in the beginning of these movies, like the Deadpool franchise, he was not like this. But in this movie, he was just full blown going crazy with the jokes, and he was just being emasculated to the point to where it just was like, let me make sure. I don't know who outside the castle right now. Okay, just a fly. I was making sure, boy. Gotta make sure you niggas ain't, gotta protect your castle, make sure. But for his position, and the thing is too, they made over 430 something billion in box office in just 3 days. That shit is crazy. But so they probably billionaires, true. But the thing is, this Ryan, he was so emasculated to get this role. You can just tell because the movie was just, and the thing is too, when it was his birthday, where's the scene at? When it was his birthday and the Galactic Force came and got him, they were talking about pegging. As a matter of fact, even if it slows, no, this is gonna be slow, but niggas gotta hear this shit. This shit crazy.
That is because of each and every one of you.
Oh,
I
now it
am the
works?
luckiest man alive. Make a wish, buddy.
Oh, a lot. See? Okay.
Woody Wilson.
So, because it's
Just
slow.
asking.
Okay. So these people right here, this is like the Galactic Force right here. And they travel through a dimension through that device that they had from this Time Ripper. And they work for this nigga right here.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Is that supposed to be scary? Pegging isn't new for me, friendo, but it is for Disney.
And I'm sorry to slow down, but pegging isn't new for me. But it is for Disney. And then he looks with this, he breaks the fourth wall. Pegging isn't new for me, but it is for Disney. Telling you, letting you know in the movie, and people found this shit funny, including him. Like besides, like this is Marvel, I get it. Actually, I don't get it because I, as a kid, I don't remember this shit. But now that times have changed, they're literally changing time, they're changing egos and perceptions, and it's crazy, it's amazing. But overall, with this movie, this was a great conscious projection with a bunch of contradictions, but they didn't have to. They could have did away with they could have did away with the emasculation of this character. They didn't have to make Deadpool what they thought they wanted him to be. But thank you all for tuning into this video. Thank you for watching another divinity or divine perception through the Zoom. And thank you all for subscribing. Thank you for joining the family. If you liked, comment, subscribe, and you're sharing, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for watching, and thank you for learning something new today. I love you so much. Have a great, wonderful day, God.